You can call them shorthanded, banged up, injured, but the Nets dropped their 10th straight loss to the Celtics last night in a Boston blowout win. So let's bring in Brian Lewis, the New York Post Nets beat writer, to try and make sense of last night. And we're going to look ahead a little bit to the trade deadline. Brian, thanks for joining us. As you know, no Ben Simmons, no KD, no TJ Warren last night. But do you think that the Nets still should have been a little bit more competitive and it be a closer game rather than a blowout loss?
I mean, listen, as Meek Mill would say, there's levels to this, right?
Oh,
I
Meek
mean,
Mill!
you can lose like they did to Boston in their first game without KD, right? Where you're down 2 in the fourth quarter. That's a far cry from being down 49 in the fourth quarter, right? So as soon as you saw how shorthanded they were in the lineup they were putting out there, which is basically like this Hobbit-sized lineup, it was always going to be tough to win. It's a horrible matchup for them, but you can represent yourself appropriately. There was no excuse to get blown out the way they did. Now it happens. You will have one-off games. You will have blowout losses over the course of the season. It's concerning that these happen at the hands of the Celtics.
Yeah, it's been a tale of two teams for the Nets. To quote Meek Mills, dreams and nightmares. I had to see your Meek Mills and raise you one. All right,
There you go.
The Nets haven't had their big three, Simmons, KD, and Kyrie, available in a game against the Celtics yet. If you throw those three in there, do you think the Nets could beat the Celtics in a 7-game series?
Could? Yeah. Do I think they should? No. Now, listen, I'm not a gambling man. I don't wager. But the Celtics are a nightmare of a matchup for them. And that's even when things are going right. But when you're taking out a bunch of 7-foot wingspans out of the lineup, then that becomes untenable. And that's part of the reason why you've seen them lose 10 straight to the Celtics, including that sweep in last year's playoffs. Now, unfortunately for them, if the postseason started tomorrow and it went according to chalk, they'd be playing the Celtics in the second round. That's an issue. And it's one that they're fully aware of. They know that they're going to have to get past the Celtics unless somebody does their work for them if they want to get to where they want to go.
All right, so let's look ahead a little bit. The trade deadline is up in about a week. People are saying, and you even said the lack of size on this team, and they need some defense. So are there any players out there that they could target? And how likely is it that Sean Marks makes a move before the trade deadline?
Well, Sean's history will tell us two things. One, he will look under every rock and he will be diligent. They're always very active and they're always talking to everybody. The other thing would tell us, unless he is forced to, he doesn't make a lot of huge moves at the trade deadline. Now, I'm gonna throw aside the Ben Simmons, James Harden thing, because I do not think that was really something that they were dying to do. Their hands were forced because Harden came to them eventually and told them he didn't want to be there, right? Yeah. And that was about 51 hours before the trade deadline. So herein lies the problem. He had to do something. But his history is not that he makes a lot of major moves at the trade deadline. So if he does do anything, I think it's probably around the margins of the team. I know a lot of their fans love John Collins. I don't think you're talking about a roster reshaping level of move. I think you're talking about something more like a second or third string center. A Naz Reid, a Zach Collins, a Nick Richards. I mean, something of that caliber, more so than some kind of seismic, huge trade.
Well, we're all caught up on our Brooklyn Nets basketball and our Meek Mill. I got to say thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.